Absolutely, totally agree. I just have to say something. This man, the Pie Man, when he started his walk on, Phil Bennett, one of our security. For a minute there, I thought I was seeing double. Looked like a twin.
Yeah, both men follicularly challenged, I believe is the nice way of putting it.
That's the very nice way, Dan.
But the Pie Man, after his first round win, he got past Kevin Dowling, 6-3. It was not brilliant stuff, an 86 average. But he was pretty upbeat about taking on Gary Anderson. And I'll tell you why. The head-to-head, he's 7-6 up. He quite likes playing the Flying Scotsman. Now, admittedly, his last win was a couple of years ago. He got 6-3 at a Championship League tie. And Gary has won the last 3 meetings, but that's, you know, still not drawn level in terms of the head-to-head stats. I think it might suggest, though, that Gary Anderson is the man in form.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, when you do go back as an ex-player, it doesn't matter what happened last year, 2 years ago.
43.
You know, to me, it don't matter what happened last week. It's what's going to happen right now. It's not what's behind you. It's what's in front of you. And certainly Gary Anderson is the hot favourite. But this man, the Pie Man, he has
140.
upset more than a few apple carts in his time.
Certainly has.
138.
First 180 of the match, and it goes to Gary Anderson. Now, I did see Pie Man actually holding an apple this morning outside the hotel. Unreal, on a toffee apple. Well, he's filling that up, and he wants 99 here. Ooh, it would have been for a 12 dart and a breaker throw.
Well, he's going to come back, though. All Anderson can do is put a hole in this, and which he's going to do. So Pie Man's coming back for a 9. And we say it so often, and we're always going to say it. This one, you've got to concentrate on. Well, he's done that okay. The double 4, just to the right of that. Double 2 cannot pass chances up like this. Mr. Pie Man, and he certainly hasn't. A breaker throw in the first leg from Andy Smith.
Yeah, so the Pie Man into an early lead. And a strong start to the first leg on his own throw. Pie Man, of course, great mates with Terry Jenkins. They've travelled here together.
100.
Jenkins, well, looked for all the world like he was cruising through to the last 16 earlier, but Jamie Caven found something with the aid of a stunning 156 checkout to turn him over as Pie Man looked for his second, well, the second maximum of the match. Has to settle for a 140. Is this the second maximum of the match? Yes, it is! And Gary Anderson has 2 180s to his name now.
Well, no panic for Andy Smith because it's level and he's got the 3 important darts. So a nice little straight ton or another 140.
100.
That'll do him. He's forcing Gary Anderson into hitting at least a 140 here himself. May go, no, he's staying up there. Sometimes the 25 is the route.
100. And you require 100.
So who can take the 1-2-1 out? The Pie Man steps up with the first chance.
Well, he's going to get a shot. Wow.
That was risky.
It certainly was.
85.
It paid off, but it was a risky one.
121.
And Gary Anderson is going to get a shot here, and it's going to be at the bullseye.
96. And you require 36.
Well, he does like double 18, does Andy Smith. Has to come across for double 9, can't miss inside. Missed a long way outside.
27. Gary, you require 25.
Less said about that, the better, I think, for the Pie Man. Ooh, he's just snuck that in the 1 as Gary Anderson. Double 6 all the way on the other side of the board.
19.
Well, they weren't very close
And
either.
you require 9.
Andy had his back to Gary Anderson, not thinking he's going to get a shot, but he is. And this is what he went out on before. Hit the big one, split the fours and hit the double two. And there's the one. Now the double four. The double four he hits this time. Takes a 2-leg-to-0 lead over the Flying Scotsman. And Gary is going to have to start flying sooner or later.
40.
That's 2 180s and he's lost both legs.
Yeah. Yep. It's a puzzler for Gary Anderson at the moment. His protege, if you will, the lad he sponsors, Michael Smith, was the standout performer from round 1. He is on the way later on against Peter Wright. We've also got Phil Taylor coming up against Alex Roy. And then Simon Whitlock against John Henderson. Could be an absolute belter.
When you're in a vein of form like Gary Anderson is, the one thing you don't tend to do is panic, even at 2-0 down, 3-0 down. Because you think, well, I've got the game, I just need to turn it on a little bit, I can get it back. Admittedly, sometimes it goes on too late and you do end up losing, but you don't start to panic, you don't tighten up so much as you would do when the form is not so good.
Well, we were talking earlier on in the John Park game, weren't we, about how John Park perhaps should have beaten Gary Anderson at the weekend in Coventry. Missed the opportunity to do so. Gary storming back to take it in deciding leg.
140.
He knows he's quite capable of putting a run of legs together where it's almost impossible to stop him. You're going to have to throw a 12-darter to do so. Oh, look at this. Andy the Pie Man Smith with a maximum.
180.
Well, it certainly put the pressure on this 88. Double 14. Oh, that's a good kill from Gary Anderson. But it's still Smith that has the breaker throw.
And it's another leg where somebody's hit a 180 and then gone on to lose it.
100.
It ain't all about the 180s. It's about who can nail that double at the end of it. Well, Gary might just come down for a 177 perhaps, but no. It is a fourth maximum of the match. 3 of them to Gary Anderson. Hope you don't believe in omens. Oh, look at that. A higher average for his overall performance than the first 9.
Yeah, I think that's more down to that
43.
First leg. Where I think it was 12 darts before he hit a treble, I think. But he's back in the treble now.
100.
And he's got the advantage to get this breaker throw back. This is where Smith needs to stay strong.
So Anderson. Oh, you can smell blood here. Oh, well. It's the old William Tell shot.
120.
Just 120.
I think it's a Robin Hood.
Well.
The William Tell was the apple off the head.
Well, there you go.
Sorry to have to put you right there, Dan.
It's medieval archer knowledge from Rod Harrington there.
140. Gary, you require 101.
For a 12-dart leg, Gary Anderson. There it is. He's flying now. Two apiece, the break back, 101 checkout. He'll be feeling a lot happier than he was just a couple of legs ago.
It's like I said earlier on, Dan, you know, when you're playing as well as what Gary is, and any player, you don't panic as much. You just need to carry on. You know it's going to work for you. And Anderson, you know, we've talked about his missed doubles. He's taken out 88 and 101, so not a lot wrong with his finishing.
140. $120.
It's great when people like Anderson are flowing, you know, Lewis, Van Gerwen, Michael Smith now. They make the game look so easy, and some of us had to work hard to hit a few treble 20s, and they just rock up and as if they could, you know, hit the 180s blindfolded.
Yeah, I mean, the way Stephen Bunting was playing earlier on, hitting 8 in 7 legs.
16.
He was on the 9 darter, well, once, and he got 5 darts in another time. You felt if he just stayed out there and carried on playing for half an hour, the 9 darter was coming. It was just scintillating stuff.
100.
Well, he's giving himself a chance here, the Pie Man, to break back immediately, because Gary can't go out on this. All he can do is set it up.
85. And you require 124.
And he may well get a shot here, the Pie Man. Just taking a moment to compose himself. Finds the middle of the treble 20 there. So, the bullseye for Andy the Pie Man Smith.
92. Gary, you require 96.
Well, he's left double 16. Will he get a crack at it? Or will Anderson, like the previous 2 legs, take it out? Well, he went for the 2 doubles.
74. And you require 32.
So the Pie Man will come back to break the throw straight back at Gary Anderson.
And there it is,
Shot on the fifth
a 13 darter for Andy the Pie Man
Anderson.
Smith, and after losing 2 legs on the
Looks like
spin,
he's happy to throw first. Game
that is a
on.
very strong response.
I can remember once at the Alexandra Palace where Andy had to get home quick because he had the Lumberjacks Christmas party. Now that's something I'd love to have gone to. He wouldn't have caused trouble at the Lumberjacks Christmas party, that's for sure.
Certainly not.
79.
That sounds like a proper party, doesn't it?
Probably, yeah. He is or was a lumberjack, Andy Smith, and he's okay. He sleeps all night and he eats all day.
83.
And just the 83 for him there.
$140.
Well, that's a good set of stats, that. Averages 97. It would help if I refresh the laptop. Thank you, Robert, our technician behind the scenes. 103 for Gary Anderson, and a very, very respectable 94 for Andy Smith.
And that was the Robin Hood shot just there, you saw.
It was.
Every day's a school day, Rod.
You live and learn.
Well, the Pie Man, once again, he's broken the Anderson throw and he's not been able to consolidate it.
60.
Could have opened up a bit of daylight between them again here. But Anderson is favourite to break straight back. However, he could do with hitting a treble here. Well,
42.
not even hit the big number.
Well, this is where the leg and the game can change. A 140 and he takes out 114, or even a 180 and takes the 78 out. Sounds better, but he'll settle for the 140 now. A ton you don't feel is going to be enough, but that certainly is. Now that puts a bit of pressure on.
144.
So 1 more 4-4, and that is not the way to do it.
43. And you require 118.
Well, Anderson did take out 101 in the 4th leg. Hyman will be very well aware of that. 98 left. So it's going to be a tricky double 19 if he can find the treble 20, which I think he has. Oh no, he's just hit the 40, I'm afraid.
43. Gary, you require 101.
So 101, can he do it for the second time in this match? 76 left. Double 80 once. Ooh.
93.
Well, it's those combination shots where he's so dangerous, isn't he? He just seems to flow around the board and finds his target.
Well, that was unusual. He went a completely different way the time he hit it. That's how you feel at the time. 18. I think you'll find that's 22. Right over the left-hand side. 22, he hits.
Andy Smith. 720 Scully to throw first. Game on.
Well, the pie man said sorry to Gary Anderson there for hitting the double 18. I don't think Gary would be very amused with that. He just walked back, tapped him on the knuckle shuffle and said sorry about that. I'd have turned around and said, what about that?
Yeah, maybe take some tips from Bobby John Rodriguez and Bob Thornton in how to celebrate a shot like that. As the pie man hits his second maximum of the match.
83.
Well, he was confident at the end of his first round match when he knew that he had Gary Anderson. He said, I've beaten before, more often than not. I've beaten him.
16.
And despite the fact he's lost the last 3 against the Flying Scotsman, he's come out here. He's playing confidently.
Well, to be quite honest, Dan, he won't have a better chance of beating him. He's in total control in this leg.
140.
Which puts him 1 away. And Anderson back on 2 legs is really going to have to find... Well, he's found a 180. And that may be right at the right time, but Andy Smith now on 81. Now, sometimes Smith will go for a 25 with his first dart, and he does that because he'd rather have the third dart at a double instead of the bullseye. And he's done that. 16 leaves him double top. Yeah, he wants 56, Andy. And that leaves him double top.
Nearly hit the double again there, but double top he wants, and double top he gets. 81 check out. Andy Smith is 5-2 up, and now he is throwing for the match. Well, this would count as something of an upset. The number 2 seed, Gary Anderson, one of the guys who's been in the best form of anybody this year. He won his first title for 2.5 years in the European Tour in Hildesheim, the first European Tour event this year. He's then gone on to win 4 more.
140.
Yes, he's going to take something very special from Gary Anderson. And then we see the doubles and the checkouts between each category. 1 out of 1 from the 41 to 80. Same with the 81 to 100.
Yeah. Pie man has hit 5 out of 6 in the checkouts up to 100.
128.
If you're going to do that, well, you're going to cause people problems.
He's played a solid game, Andy Smith. He's average 97.5, and Anderson's still over the 100 mark.
133.
Well, that leaves him the straight ton, but the 1-2-1 beckons Andy Smith for a convincing win over Gary Anderson. I think Gary Anderson's expression says it all there. The pie man's going to get a dart at the bullseye or at double 14. Is he going to flirt with that small piece around the treble? No.
Well
He's
away
gone
from
for
it.
the big one.
Well away from it.
84.
And not much closer to the ball.
So
Gary Anderson, you feel this has got to go. For a break back. Well, 2 darts. A double top. Now for double 10.
90.
Well, that may be the last dart that Gary Anderson throws at the Austrian Darts Open, because Andy Smith is going to get 2 match darts here. And it's a double 16 for a 6-2 victory. Not far away. Last dart at double 8. It's there! And the pie man
Andy Smith
gets revenge for a mauling he got at the UK Open from Gary Anderson. He knocks the Flying Scotsman out of the